is communism, so I'm for communism. That's what is going on here. I had the fortune, and maybe some background information here, maybe the misfortune, on television yesterday, because we're ready to go to do our normal thing at 4 o'clock Eastern, the Chris Salcedo Show on Newsmax, and then we get the word. President Trump has not emerged from the Miami courthouse yet. And it was about 8 minutes till. So the entire show that I was planning on doing, assuming that President Trump would have already been at least in his motorcade heading out to Miami International, it hadn't happened yet. He was running behind, as the president typically does. So here I'm told, with minutes to go before we get on Newsmax, hey, you're going to have to take this whole thing. So the whole show that we had planned to do, and it's different from radio and television, folks. And I'll give you an example of the difference between radio and television. A guy by the name of Dick Tuniga, a long time ago out in San Diego, which is where I'm originally from, the People's Republic of California, back when it was free. I escaped to Texas as soon as I possibly could. Dick Tuniga tells me the difference between doing radio and doing television is, how much does it cost you to go out and buy a radio? And at the time, it was like, $20-25. He goes, well, how much does it cost you to go out and buy a television? He's like, well, okay, so you want to know the difference between the level of complexity in pivoting and turning on the dime on radio as opposed to television. Well, there it is. There it is. So we made the pivot, and I was watching this yesterday. And I'll walk you through step by step. Here Trump is, he gets out of the courthouse and the motorcade starts going, and we're under the impression that he's going to go to Miami International. He's going to hop on a plane, head to Bedminster, New Jersey, where he's going to give a speech later in the night. That's his vacation home. But he makes this unplanned stop at the Versailles restaurant. It is a restaurant that is popular among conservative Cubanos there in Little Havana. And Mr. Trump stops there. And he starts shaking hands. He starts, hey, hello, everybody's just celebrating him because, the Cubanos are conservatives. They're not like Joe Walsh, the former Republican congressman and guy who's back going crazy. They don't support communism just because maybe they don't agree with the guy who's opposing communism. So they know the dangers of communism there. They're not like the current Republican Party under Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, who let's stroke our chins thoughtfully and get along with communism. They know where this all leads in Little Havana. So he's welcomed like a rock star there in this restaurant. He goes in there, he poses for pictures with folks. They pray over him. They pray over him. There was one pastor who was saying, please, God, give this man the strength to stop communism from coming into the United States, being ushered in by socialist Democrats. Please give him the strength to stand up to this, to weather this, as Mitch McConnell and John Cornyn of Texas and 16 other Senate Republicans have caved, as a lot of people in the so-called House leadership have caved to the socialism and the communism that is overtaking this country. Please give President Trump the ability to withstand, the ability to stand up to this cancer that is communism. It was extraordinary to watch. I'm sitting there, my jaw's dropping, just watching this all unfold. Then Jorge Masvidal, who's it's UFC, right? UFC, I always get this confused. UFC fighter. He poses, he's a big Trump supporter. He poses with the president, and everybody's getting selfies and pictures and all that kind of stuff with President Trump. Then he yells, round of food for everybody. And I'm thinking to myself, and I said this on the air yesterday, I said, wow, the people's president. The people's president. Right there. And they hate him for it. They hate him for it. His entire time in public office, he reached the pinnacle of politics. It takes some of these shrubs 20 or 30 years to reach the White House, and most of them never do. He does it his first go out, and he has one mantra his entire time in the Oval Office as President of the United States. He says, promises made, promises kept. And they hate him for it. They hated him for it. So I say that yesterday. Nobody looks at Beijing Biden and says, oh, the people's president. No, he's the president of the People's Republic of China, but, that's a different story for a different day. So the other members of the press opposite me on Newsmax at 4 o'clock Eastern. I'm talking about Jake Tapper over at CNN. I'm talking about Nicole Wallace, who we are convinced is related in some way to Chris Wallace, over there on MSNBS. They are beside themselves with what they're saying. I want to play a little bit of that for you. First, let's go over to Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper is angry because, frankly, folks, Trump just played them again. What he needed to do to fulfill Paul Ryan's fantasies, to fulfill Mitch McConnell's fantasies, to fulfill the Democrat Party's fantasies and all the people in the biased press, Trump needed to be contrite. Trump needed to be defeated. Trump needed to go away with his tail between his legs. Instead, you had the people singing happy birthday to the president, President Trump, there in the Versailles restaurant. And you had him defiant. And he was secure in the knowledge that the American people see this for what it is. The collapse of America's system of justice, and indeed those who are ushering in the collapse of these once United States. And here's how CNN's Jake Tapper handled things.
Various national security laws, and then obstructing and refusing to cooperate with the FBI.
You guys hear the happy birthday in the background? Happy birthday, Mr. President. And there's Jake Tapper, and you can just hear him seething.
Whatever this spectacle is that's unfolding before us, let's remember what this case is about. Let's remember what this indictment charges. Again, Donald Trump is charged with a series of federal felonies for mishandling the most sensitive government documents that we have.
Okay, that's BS. First off, this is a legal analyst. That is BS. I talked to Congressman Devin Nunes on my radio show the other day. And he says, you know what, if you look at the indictments, classified information, classified, but the statute they are using to charge President Trump with a felony is not the statute that governs classified documents. The statute that Joe Biden has admitted he's guilty of violating. Right? So it's a big bait and switch in this entire indictment. They say it's all about classified documents. No, it's not, because you didn't use the statute that deals with classified documents to say he violated it. You know why? Because even CNN had to admit in a story that's out on CNN, officials inside the Trump administration say that President Trump knew how to handle classified information, and he did. He knew exactly how to handle it, and he did. He complied with the law. By the way, not to put you fine a point on this, but the chief executive of the United States is the one who sets the standards on what classification is. The President of the United States, by statute, he's the one that says, well, that's classified or that's not. Now, typically the way this works in the past, kids, is when you have administrations, one administration says, well, I think that ought to be classified, and the next one says, no, I don't think it ought to be. Then they usually work this out behind the scenes in recognition that it is the chief executive that has the sole power and authority to do that. But not this time, because now it's get Trump.
And for obstruction of justice, along with Walt Nauta, who is charged with intentionally setting up lies to the grand jury, to the FBI. Any way you look at this, and again, despite whatever may be going on in that restaurant, this case isn't going to be settled legally in a cafe. It's going to be settled in the court based on the facts and law.
The folks in the control room, I don't need to see any more of that. He's trying to turn he's trying to turn it into a spectacle, into a campaign ad. That's enough of that. We've seen it already.
Good old Jake Tapper, folks. We got played again. President Trump didn't follow the script. He was supposed to be defeated and dejected and go away, and he refuses to comply with us in the basket of biased press. He refuses to comply with us. Now, Nicole Wallace over at MSNBS had a similar reaction. I'm going to play that for you when we get back. And, I want to get your reaction to what transpired yesterday as well. Telephone number is 800-922-6680. 800-922-6680. It's Chris Salcedo on The Rob Carson Show.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
Jolene, do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM. A rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum, and I have Dr. Taylor Pascal here, a new doctor in my office, and I'm so excited to have him here. Being a second-generation chiropractor, you grew up day one being adjusted, right?
That's right. I was about 20 minutes old, and, people think I'm joking when I say that because so many people have this pain therapy idea about chiropractic when really we know that when we adjust the spine, we change the brain, we help the body function the way it was designed to do by taking that tension off the nervous system.
We think about one adjustment, how much power is in one adjustment, and sometimes I think we take that for granted.
Not here, but it's definitely easy to do that because we're so used to seeing these miraculous results with every person that we lay hands on when we remove that interference to normal function.
Exactly. So please give us a call, 831-459-9990, Dr. Duncan McCollum, and ask for the $49 introductory special to see if we can help you.
Hope to see you soon.
My name is Dean Sutton. I'm a lawyer, a real estate lawyer. I've been in practice for 40 years in Santa Cruz, Santa Clara County. I go to court, go to trial. We handle and resolve questions and problems concerning primarily real estate, buy, sell, lease, evict, foreclose, boundary lines, disputes about ownership, possession, roommates, all those kinds of problems that we work with. We have a call-in talk show, Law of the Land, on KSCO. You get a chance to talk to a lawyer. Give me a call. I'm a lawyer, but you can like me anyway.
Call Dean on Fridays at 3 p.m.
Recently on Flight 1080. Look at you sweating and all that stuff, dancing around the pole. Holy cow, Jim. Well, take my money. Take my money.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a move to make pole dancing a summer Olympic sport. Now, I don't know how far it goes. It depends. Because for every Olympic sport, there's usually a men's division and a women's division. I'm not watching the men's competition for that. Now, cornhole. Have you seen cornhole? I don't know if that'd be an Olympic sport. I thought that was a joke when I first saw it. Cornhole was like, okay, that's actually apparently a sport, and people actually compete professionally in cornhole. I never thought that would have been a sport.
Why is it called cornhole, though?
I bet Billy Harvey knows. He's an expert in all things cornhole.
If you have any cornholers out there, please give us a call at 479-1080.
Yeah.
Flight 1080, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on AM 1080 KSCO.
CBM 680.
The DC swamp has divided us. It's time to come together to fight for America as founded. It's the Rob Carson Show.
Folks, you got Chris Salcedo filling in for Rob Carson, my good buddy Rob Carson. You've heard me on his program before. He comes on my radio show and on the television show on Newsmax. So I was honored that I could pinch hit for him today, and a rather consequential day after the Democrats, with the help of some complicit Republicans, have weaponized government against we the people. Election interference at its worst. So yesterday, while the Chris Salcedo at its worst. While the Chris Salcedo show was admiring the people's president, President Trump, the folks in the biased press like over at CNN and MSNBS, they were not pleased that Trump wasn't following the script.
In this case, they patted him very congenially on the shoulder, and the two of them walked out together like buds kind of at the end. Much more loose and comfortable. It was, I think, functionally his room, after all, for the duration of that hearing today.
That is interesting. I imagine that I want to explain the picture on our screen.
Okay, wait a minute. Folks, is it just me, or does Nicole Wallace sound like she's drunk? We have a problem in the state of Texas where certain members of our Texas State House showed up to work inebriated, or no, sorry, we don't know whether we have no idea what substance they were on. We just know that they sounded impaired to do the people's business of Texas. We've got them on tape. Can anybody translate what Nicole Wallace, who we're convinced is related to Chris Wallace in some way? Can anybody translate what the hell she's saying here?
For the duration of that hearing today.
That is interesting. I imagine that I want to explain the picture on our screen. Trump has gone.
What the hell did she do? I'm going to the screen. I don't know. Is Nicole Wallace knocking a couple back before she gets on her 4 o'clock show?
On to really a famous place that all Republican candidates, actually probably Democratic candidates, go as well.
We call it a restaurant, Nicole. It's called a restaurant in the American language, which apparently is you don't understand in the English language, or that you can't function on television enunciating properly. We call it a restaurant, a place where Republicans go. It's a restaurant. What the hell's the matter with you?
It's Versailles. It's in Little Havana in the Miami area. He's still a candidate for president. That's the picture over your brilliant words. We don't need to see that anymore. We know where he is.
Oh, we don't need to see this anymore. This shows President Trump beloved. This shows President Trump defiant. This shows President Trump is not caving in. We don't need to see that crap. Get it off my screen at MSNBS. Let me see if I can squeeze a phone call in here. Vilma is in New Hampshire. Vilma, welcome to the Rob Carson Show with me, Chris Salcedo. What's going on?
Newsmax gave up on Fox. Watch my hands about myself and the legal immigrant and about Mr. Trump, President Trump, 100% and then some.
Hey, Vilma, I don't know. Hey, let me ask. Hold on a second. Let me ask engineers, guys. Is it broken up for you too, or is it just me? Okay, all right. So, Vilma,
what do you mean?
We're your cell signal. We're getting every other word. I'm basically getting the gist.
I'll call later then.
No. It's all right. I was just trying to give you time to maybe get into a better cell area so we could continue the. Don't apologize. Look, I was very happy to hear that you're done with Fox, and by the way, I've got some Paul Ryan audio to play for you a little bit later on. But go ahead, continue your thoughts. Yes. Hopefully our cell connection is stabilized here. Go ahead.
I know. I'm so sorry. I feel bad. But I just want to say I'm so thankful to you for backing President Trump, quote unquote. And like I said, I am also a legal immigrant. We love him. A lot of us Italian people love him. I pray to God that justice will be served for him. And thank you, Newsmax, for being there for President Trump. Thank you.
Vilma, thank you very much. And you know what? I believe it or not, folks, you're a liberty-loving Latino here. I'm not endorsing in the primary. I want to hear. I want to hear everybody. I want to hear from everybody. You know, you know what I want to hear, Vilma? You know, the number one thing I want to hear from every Republican candidate: how are you going to protect me from socialists? How are you going to protect me and my family from communists? Yeah, and you know what? There's only of all the people running in the Republican primary, I think there are two that have a compelling case for saying they've done good, solid work to oppose the Democrat Party, who's bringing in socialism and communism. There's only two of them. Yeah. So, Vilma, thank you very much. I appreciate the call. I really do. Let me get out to Adrian in Virginia. Adrian, what say you on the Rob Carson Show with me, Chris Salcedo?
Hey Chris, what's going on, man? I've heard you before, and I really enjoy your content. I think you nailed it most cases. But I wanted to ask you a question. I know you're talking about yesterday and such, but what do you feel like if Trump would go and campaign with straight up Latino communities and inside the urban black communities? Because, and hear me out real quick, people who voted for Trump, I think 95% of them, not more, are going to vote for him again. My question, though, is still points is that I think we're failing, and I've given up in English politics. I try to fight the Latinos now, try to fight the propaganda, the fake news. With that being said, I really see there's a lack of interest, or maybe a lack of effort, maybe that's the wrong word, lack of effort reaching out to these communities, because if, let's just say they pull it off and they get where all the illegals can vote, we're in trouble, because we're not having any voices going out there speaking for it. That's why I've changed my tune to just go straight Latino and speak Spanish-speaking community, because they're all interested in Trump. But the one thing they always say, and it's always the same, is he never talks to us. No Republicans ever talk to us. Democrats are knocking on our doors, calling us, and all that. They're all over YouTube, Pandora. I listen to Spanish music. I'm sure you do too. It's everywhere, and we are not tapping into that, and that's where we're going to fail. I think that's going to really make a huge difference if we get our foot in the door. At least speak to them. Find a way to introduce yourself to these folks, because all they heard is Trump's bad, Trump's bad, Trump's bad. And I've been pushing this with John Frederick, with Carson, everybody.
I think you're right. I think you're spot on. And sorry, I don't mean to give you a short shrift here, but I got to get to a break here. But I think you're spot on, because there is a language barrier, and the left wing uses that language barrier to distort the facts. By the way, I'm going to talk to a politician coming up next, somebody who likes to speak to your liberty-loving Latino and does quite often, Congressman Jim Jordan, coming up on the Rob Carson Show with me, Chris Salcedo. Be right back.
SimpliSafe, we know during a break-in, every second counts. So our home security system is powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who use Fast Protect technology, only from SimpliSafe, to capture video evidence and verify a threat for fast police response. Now, install SimpliSafe your way. Do it yourself or have an expert set it up for you with new Pro Install. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
It's important to...
You can get almost anything on the internet except personal service. Hello, I'm Scott Bedell with Bedell Nelson Harbert Insurance, your Allied agent in Santa Cruz. When you call Bedell Nelson Harbert, a real person will answer the phone. A real person will help you save money by packaging your home and auto insurance with Allied. We can even help you save on your vacation rental with the Foremost Insurance Group. Give us a call at 426-3700 and ask a real person for a free, no-obligation quote. We are the real people of Bedell Nelson Harbert Insurance, and we can save you money because Allied and Nationwide are on your side.
The new Cruz Coffee Cafe, located at 246 Kings Village Road in Scotts Valley, has a wonderful array of breakfast items, pastries, and lunch, as well as all kinds of one-of-a-kind items from local artists in the community. Locally roasted coffee here in Santa Cruz. You won't be disappointed. The new Cruz Coffee Cafe in Scotts Valley. It's the coffee of choice for KSCO Radio.
A
Attention KSCO listeners, Dave Michaels has some fantastic news. The Dave Cave is now filling orders for KSCO gear, backed by popular demand. Are the KSCO hats, jackets, sweatshirts, t-shirts, and more available in person or by mail? This gear will make you look 10 years younger and 10 degrees cooler, probably. Guaranteed to protect you against most shark attacks, alligators, and charging wombats. Imagine getting one of these beauties in the mail. It means that someone really cares about you, unless you got it for yourself. All mail orders will get a free gift. Wow! You're going to look great, and with all that advertising on your body, you're bound to meet